the way these guys throw themselves around and take bumps, out of the ring to the floor, and the human body wasn't designed to be able to withstand that type of abuse. As I was saying earlier, whatever Vince gives me to do, whatever my job is on that particular situation, I'm gonna do it. And if it's working with Tommaso Ciampa, then I'd be all for it, because I think he's very talented, and I think that there's a few things that I could help him with, mainly to help him get a little more out of his career, because I know he's been plagued with injuries, and but I also know that he loves and respects this business. The NXT guys worry me because I see them doing such highly physical things during the matches. It's almost like they do so many physically impressive things, but those things are dangerous, and they wear and tear on your career. I've been doing this 20 years, and I'll do it another decade. I just turned 40, and my plan would be to keep going until my 50th birthday. You know what I mean? And I think that I would be able to do that, and I would be able to, support my family for 30 years of wrestling under Vince McMahon because of the way that I tell stories in the ring. The facial expressions, the little transitional things that you do on the fly, or you ad-lib, so to speak, during a match, those are the things that people remember. I watched a match the other day, and I'm not going to name names, but a lot of the NXT guys work like this, and it was just train wreck after train wreck after train wreck, and it was all very impressive, but when it's all said and done and the match is over, I couldn't remember anything that happened, because it was just movement. It was just like big car crashes. And when you see so much of that back to back, and you don't see how that affected the talent, meaning they didn't sell that move, or there wasn't enough of a delay between high spots that I was able to see facial expressions and see that, oh, this guy hurts. This guy's, he hurt his neck on this spot, and then he just tried to pick up the other guy, but he couldn't because his neck, I think he's really hurt. Oh my God. Like, you don't get to invest into these matches because they're just boom, 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 one thing after another. And although it is highly physically impressive, and it's something that I don't think I wouldn't be able to do that style. A lot of these things these guys do, I'm not capable of doing, but they're going to have very short careers. And what I worry about for Ciampa in particular is that with all these big injuries he's had, and we've all had injuries, we all work hurt, we all wake up stiff after a good fight, but he needs to learn how to tell stories and slow it down and not think that the fans want to see him kill himself. You know what I mean? Like, you're only as good as the last match you ever had. Your last match is as good as anyone's ever going to. Like, I could tear it down with Edge and have the greatest wrestling match ever this Sunday at Backlash, and then the next night on Raw, I could go out there and shit the bed and have a real bad match, and nobody would remember the match at Backlash. You only remember the last one, and the way these guys throw themselves around and take bumps, out of the ring to the floor, and the human body wasn't designed to be able to withstand that type of abuse. And although the human body is capable of adapting to many different situations, and you develop like a callus to where, you know, your body does get used to how you're treating it in the ring, there's a shelf life on that. And if you only get 3 or 4 years of a career with the WWE because you did a lot of careless, reckless, dangerous moves, you'd have to, I think that you would have to look back and kind of kick yourself in the ass and wish that you didn't. You know, there's a smarter way to do it. Smarter, not harder. You know what I mean? You've heard that before. There's a smarter way to do it, and I think that a lot of these guys could extend the length of their careers if they tried to worry about camera angles on facial expressions and playing the crowd, and even if there's not a crowd, knowing that the people at home in their living room watching you on TV, that's the crowd. You got to play to them. You got to think, how would I be as a fan watching this on television? A lot of these guys have kids. They're married. You know, they have car payments and mortgages. And, you know, when it comes down to it, this is a business. We all love what we do, but you need to make money doing it. You can't destroy your body and not make any money doing it and then end up, you know, working at McDonald's because you never went to college and you destroyed your neck in the ring. Like, there has to be a purpose, and the main purpose is getting paid. We love what we do, but you need to get paid for what you do, you know, and to make it up to the main roster, to do these big shows and travel the world, the pay is better. And that's my biggest concern for those guys in NXT, and I would love to go down there and share a little knowledge.